Today we will be discussing stock verification. This is a general term used by different shopkeepers as well as warehouses, including libraries. So the idea is to verify each and every item in the warehouse or the shop or the library. Why we have to verify? How we can verify? What are the different techniques of verifying each and every item of the library? What are the advantages of this verification? And what are the disadvantages of this verification that we'll be taking up in this lecture? I'll be discussing the stock verification under this content. I will introduce the concept. I will tell you the steps how to verify the stock. Then we will try to assess the causes of loss of books. I will tell you the disadvantages, advantages, and different techniques, different methods of verifying the stock in the library. So the origin of a stock verification can be traced back to ancient civilizations where rudimentary form of inventory management were practiced. Early traders and merchants used simple methods to keep track of goods and materials, often relying on manual counts and written records to monitor stock levels. In the context of libraries, the concept of inventory management has evolved over centuries alongside the development of written materials and the establishment of organized collections. Ancient libraries, such as the Library of Alexandria in Egypt, employed some form of inventory management to catalog and preserve their vast collections of scrolls and manuscripts. During the Middle Ages, with the proliferation of monastic and cathedral libraries across Europe, the need for systematic cataloging and inventory control became more pronounced. Libraries employed techniques such as cataloging by hand and implementing rudimentary borrowing systems to manage their collections. The invention of the printing press in the 15th century revolutionized the production and dissemination of books, leading to an exponential increase in the number of printed materials. As libraries expanded their collections to accommodate this growth, the need for more sophisticated inventory management practices became evident. By the modern era, with the establishment of public libraries and academic institutions, stock verification and rectification became standard procedures in library management. Librarians developed systematic approaches to cataloging, shelving, and tracking materials, often using manual methods such as card catalogs and shelf lists. With the advent of digital technologies in the late 20th century, library automation systems and barcode technology revolutionized inventory management processes. Today, libraries utilize integrated library system and RFID tagging to streamline stock verification and rectification, allowing for more efficient collection management and improved user services. Coming to the steps, how the libraries are taking up the stock verification process. The first step is planning. The library staff plan the stock verification process, including determining the scope of the verification, scheduling the verification activities, and assigning responsibilities to the staff members. Second step is physical inspection. The library staff physically inspects the shelves, stacks, and other storage areas to verify the presence and condition of each item in the collection. This may involve scanning barcodes, checking call numbers, or manually counting items. Third step is comparison with records. The physical count of items is compared with the records in the library's catalog or database to identify any discrepancies. This includes checking for missing items, duplicate entries, or items listed in the catalog but not found on the shelves. Then the fourth step is resolution of discrepancies. Any discrepancies identified during the verification process are investigated to determine their cause. This may involve searching for missing items, updating records, or correcting errors in the catalog. And the last step is documentation. Library staff document the results of the stock verification process, including any discrepancies found, actions taken to resolve them, and recommendations for improving inventory management practices. Now we'll analyze the causes of loss of books. As it is quite apparent, theft, misplacement, mutilation, unreturned loans, natural disasters, wear and tear, obsolete material, and cataloging errors are the major causes of loss of books. So I'll just explain one by one. Theft, it is a deliberate stealing of books by the patrons or outsiders, is a significant cause of loss in the libraries. Books may be stolen for personal use or resale. Misplacement, books may be misplaced or shelved incorrectly, leading to difficulties in locating them when needed. Misplacement can happen due to human error or inadequate shelving procedures. Next, mutilation. Some readers may engage in destructive behavior, such as tearing pages, underlining, or highlighting text, causing damage to the books. Then we have unreturned loans, patrons borrowing books and not returning them on time or at all can contribute to book loss. This may be unintentional or deliberate. Next, natural disaster. Events like floods, fires, or other natural disasters can lead to the destruction of books and other library materials. Next, wear and tear. Normal wear and tear over time can result in the deterioration of books, making them unusable. This is a natural and unavoidable cause of loss. Then we have obsolete materials. Some materials become outdated or obsolete, and the library may choose to discard or replace them. While not a loss in the traditional sense, it is a planned removal of material from the collection. Then we have cataloging errors. These are errors in the cataloging process, such as duplicate entries, incorrect item locations, or missing records that can contribute to book loss. Now, you can see the advantages. What are the advantages of this stock verification? So, you can identify the lost books, and automatically, when you identify the misplaced books, you can rectify their positions also. And in addition to these two, we have many advantages. I'll just explain one by one. When I say identifying lost books, it means stock verification definitely helps in identifying the lost or missing books in the library collection, enabling the librarian to take appropriate action such as replacing them or updating records. Then we have a stock rectification. It facilitates the correction of misplaced books, ensuring that items are returned to their correct locations within the library, thus improving accessibility for patrons. Next advantage, we have assessing service impact. By analyzing the extent of book loss or damage discovered during stock verification, library authorities can assess the impact of various services or policies on the collections condition and make informed decision for improvement. Next, we have maintaining book condition. Regular stock verification allows for the periodic shuffling and dusting of books, preventing the accumulation of dust and insects that can damage the collection over time. The next, we have data for decision making. Stock verification provides valuable data and statistics that enable library authorities to understand trends in book loss or damage, informing decisions related to collection management, security measures, and resource allocation. Another advantage that we can have insight into the collection usage. Pattern normally is observed during stock verification, such as the frequency of book loss in certain subject areas, can provide insight into the popularity or relevance of specific topics among library users. Then we have staff accountability. It allows library authorities to assess the performance and accountability of library staff in maintaining the collection's integrity, identifying areas for improvement, or training if necessary. And then another advantage we have, that we can prevent the future losses by identifying the root cause of book loss or damage revealed during stock verification. Library authorities can implement preventive measures and policies to minimize future losses and maintain the collection's integrity. As I told you, for every tool or technique or method, we have advantages as well as disadvantages. So, what are the disadvantages of this stock verification? That also I will let you know. The major disadvantage is disruption to the library services. This stock verification can disrupt the regular library services, as staff may need to divert their attention from assisting patterns to participate in the verification process. This can inconvenience library users and affect the service quality. Second disadvantage is resource intensive. Stock verification requires significant resources, including staff time, materials, and equipment. The process may consume valuable resources without yielding immediate tangible benefits, especially if the cost of verification outweighs the value of lost or misplaced items. Another disadvantage is limited accuracy. Despite efforts to verify the stock accuracy, there is always a risk of errors or inaccuracies in the process. Human error, incomplete records, or technical issues with the inventory system can undermine the reliability of the verification results. Another disadvantage we have, that is cost inefficiency. The cost of conducting stock verification may not always justify the outcomes, especially if the library has a relatively small collection or if the loss rate is minimal. In such cases, the expenses associated with verification may outweigh the benefits gained. Another disadvantage is potential disruption to patrons. During stock verification, certain library materials may need to be temporarily removed from the circulation or inaccessible to patrons. This can disrupt access to resources and inconvenience to library users who rely on these specific items. Next disadvantage is invasion of privacy. Depending on the methods used for stock verification, such as manual inspection or electronic scanning, there may be concerns about privacy invasion if personal information is inadvertently recorded or exposed during the process. And the last of all, risk of backlash is always there. Library users may perceive stock verification as an unnecessary intrusion or inconvenience, leading to dissatisfaction or backlash against library policies. Poorly executed verification processes may erode trust in the library's management and operations. Then next we'll be discussing different methods of stock verification. So we have different methods of stock verification. We can do it by accession register. We can do it by using a separate register with accession number, and we can also do it by separate sheet containing accession numbers, and even by numerical counting. So the method of stock verification by accession register, this involves physically carrying the accession register to the stack area, and one of the staff can read out the accession numbers and another person can verify the availability of the book on the stack and accordingly mark on the accession register that this book is available. This is quite cumbersome. Every time you have to carry the accession register, and accession register is a unique record which a library possesses, and it also leads to the mutilation of accession register. And if frequently you are mutilating, or every year you are trying to practice the same thing, so it will spoil your very important record of the library. Next method we have, just to save the accession register, what can be done is you can use a separate register with accession numbers. So the format of accession register you can see is where you have the accession number, author, title, publisher, and source of supply, edition, price, call number, remarks. So this definitely will be spoiled if again and again, or on a yearly basis, if you are using the accession register. So if we can use a duplicate register with accession numbers, and process will remain the same. One staff will be speaking out the accession number along with the necessary details, and the other person will be verifying its availability on the stacks. And this is how the each and every item or each and every book can be verified. So this is a format you can see. You have a register where on the left hand side you have accession number, and on the top you can see you have the year. So every year you can verify it, and you can put a tick mark or the cross mark depending upon the availability. If it is available, you can put a tick mark, and if it is not available, you can put a cross mark. And this is how the register can be maintained for many years, probably at least minimum 10 years. You can maintain this register, and your original record, means your original accession register, remains saved. So the second method, here you can see you can write down all the accession numbers on a separate sheet, and in this way at least you can write 50 accession numbers on a sheet, and you can ask 2% to verify the 50 accession numbers or 50 documents or the books or the items bearing these accession numbers. So another two people can be given some other accession numbers. So on a continuity basis, so all these accession numbers can be divided, and either 20-20 or 50-50 accession numbers can be given to one person or the two person. They will be in a position to go to the stack area, verify those accession numbers, and they can finally compile the report how many books are available in the stack area and how many books are missing from the stack area. And if the books are missing, then definitely we are supposed to check it with the circulation record. And if it is not available in the circulation records also, then the last option is we can check it with the binding records, and we can check it in the binding section. If the document is not available in the binding section also, means this finally means that the book is lost. So I'll explain you rest of the methods in the next class. Thank you, dear friends.